Hello everybody, I'm Jeanette. You're visiting the Neals Homestead and we're in the kitchen again. But we're not cooking up food for old guy and me, we're cooking up some food for some birds. I can't say that winter is my favorite season, but there are a few things that I like about winter. And I'd say that my favorite thing about winter is that I get to feed the birds. Now I know you can feed the birds all year long, but I haven't ever had any real good results with feeding the birds in the summertime. But they flock to my feeders like they are starving in the wintertime. My favorite bird is a pileated woodpecker. That's the woody woodpecker with the big head. They're, you know, like that big, and that got that big thing sticking out the back of their head, that tuft of feathers, I guess. I don't know, it could be a part of their skull. Perhaps I should look about that. They make a sound that the first time I ever heard one, I said, that is like Woody Woodpecker. They actually copied that off, you know. It's not like somebody said, ha 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 ha, but it resembles that sound. I thought, oh, that's cool. I bought earlier some suet cakes. My cage that I have is big and I attached it to the tree. I was trying to attract these woodpeckers, but I put them far away from the house quite a bit because I was afraid I wouldn't get them to come up as close. I wanted to kind of work their way into being close enough to the house that I could see them. Well, one time I saw a cat up there eating through some of it. I chased it off. I never saw it again, but all of the suet got eaten. So I don't know for sure what ate it, but anyway, I want to make some more. I want to make some. Didn't make the other, but this time I'm going to make it myself because I'm just kind of a do-it-yourself type of person. Now there are an unbelievable amount of variations on this stuff that you can find on the internet or out of a book, and so I've kind of put together my own idea. And I'm going to make a fairly large amount, so I'll show you that. You can cut it in half or whatever you want to do if you want to try this recipe. Now, this is lard that I made myself whenever I made a video called rendering lard over an open fire. And I've got 2 pounds of lard here. And to that I'm going to add 2 cups of peanut butter. And then 4 cups of birdseed. I bought this the other day when I went on my shopping spree down at the stores in Versailles. If you're interested in that, I got a video about that. And I need 4 cups, but I don't think this is going to be 4 cups. I'm going to measure it out, and then I have some regular sunflower seeds here that I'll fill in the other 4 cups. Now, some recipes call for cornmeal, but I am going to use oatmeal, quick oats, not regular oats, and to kind of thicken it up. So, first thing I'm going to do is get the lard in here and put it on my stove and start it melting. After it's started to become liquid, I'm going to add my 2 cups of peanut butter. Now, I've greased my measuring cup with lard, so I'm hoping the peanut butter will just slide right out of there. It's not the easiest stuff to deal with. And it worked pretty good. You can see where I stopped using it. I didn't go all the way up. I'll slowly get that melted and stirred up. When this has all melted, I can't find any chunks of peanut butter in there, then I've measured out my oatmeal and I'm going to stir that in. I'm going to give this a little bit of a chance at a low temperature to sort of cook, but mostly just soak up the liquid lard and the peanut butter, because this is going to help thicken my bird food, my suet. The suet will be just fine while it's cold, but if it gets very warm, I'm thinking that it might melt, and I'm hoping that the oatmeal will thicken it up some. This bird seed has a really wide variety of ingredients. millet and black oil sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, and I don't know what else. I'm sure there's a big long list right here that I'm not even going to try to read. It's made for parakeets, or cockatiels actually. It's made for little house birds, but I think the birds I want to feed are going to like it. I'm not saying that the woodpeckers will like every single thing, but something will come along and want to eat whatever's left over. Well, the oatmeal has definitely cooked while it's in there, and it's thickening up, and I've turned the burner off at this point, and since I have an electric burner, it'll continue to simmer a little bit for a couple more minutes. I have measured out my bird seed, and surprisingly there were 4 cups there. But here's an ingredient that I failed to mention to you that I want to add, and because my cats give me problems, I don't want to attract squirrels to it, I'm adding some cayenne pepper. Now, birds can't detect the heat of cayenne pepper, hot peppers, but mammals can, like the cats and the squirrels. So I'm hoping, and maybe even raccoons if they get up there, I'm hoping that that might scare some of them off. I'm ready to add my bird seed. Stir that around. And because I know cooking with hot pepper sometimes can send you on a coughing or sneezing fit, I'm going to let this cool with the bird seed slightly, and then I'll sprinkle that around. I don't want it in a clump. I want to make sure it gets distributed. That was 1/4 cup. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. My mixture is very soupy, so I'm going to let this sit out and cool for a while. Of course, I don't want it to get hard, but I want it to be firm enough that the seeds can be distributed throughout it well, instead of all of them falling down to the bottom. Well, it took a long time for that hot, greasy stuff to cool down. I kept stirring it and moving it around to cool places, and it took 2 to 3 hours to cool down. So one thing I'm going to suggest is only make it as hot as it needs to be to melt the grease and the peanut butter, and then it'll cool down a lot faster. I showed you earlier what my big cage is like for my suet cake, and it's an extra large one. Usually you find smaller ones, but I bought this extra large one somewhere quite a while back, and I was trying to find a mold that would work, and what I came up with was these silicone pans that I had. I'm gonna use this, but I think one way it's gonna be just fine, but the other way is a little bit big, and I might have to trim some off of the side. It still kind of wants to settle down to the bottom a little bit. What I will probably do is pour some of that in there, and then take my spoon and take some off the bottom, so it's not where one is real liquidy and the other one has all the goodies in it. I think I can fill these up pretty much all the way and be good with my cage that I want to put it in. After I got it in here, I'm going to try to distribute the solids a little more to the edges and corners, and not just have it all piled in the middle. I'll have to let these cool, I mean thoroughly cool, like maybe even frozen, to handle them the best. I got my suet all cold here. I had to put it outside today where it's nice and cold. I really like this, the way this peels off. That's why I like these things for this kind of a job. As cold as it is, it's nice and firm, but it's still pretty sticky. And these things are fairly sticky, so that's just the nature of them. Let's see how it goes now to get it down in here. See how much I have to carve off. I think I'll take it back out. Carve about that much off. Kind of looks like candy, but I doubt if it tastes very good. It even kind of smells a little bit like candy because it's peanut butter in there. Okay. Actually, then I think I could even then slide this down along the side, so I don't have to figure out what to do with that. Let's get it outside and hang it on the tree. Well, I've put 2 screws in this tree back here that I'm going to hang this on. Way up high like that, I'm hoping that the cats won't bother it too much. And also, I'm hoping that the woodpecker will come and find it. I've got several different kinds of birds in my yard at my feeders, but I really want that pileated woodpecker to come and give me a visit. And if he does, I hope I can get some footage and share it with you all. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.